What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section if you haven't already to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Thank you guys for joining me as always. As you can see, I have the Greenlight Optimizer up and ready to go. We're going to go through here, give you guys my core 5 guys to get you started, the high 5, and we're going to do that on Draftkings and FanDuel. I'm not going to keep up too much of your time, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. All right? Now, starting off at pitcher, Max Scherzer is by far and away the best option on the slate. He doesn't have like a limited pitch count in any way. He's coming in facing a Philly offense that is okay at times. All right, they have their moments, but at the end of the day, Scherzer is the most talented pitcher, and it's not really particularly close on this slate. As well as us not having the Colorado game on the main slate, I think it'll be perfectly fine. Scherzer is the guy that I'll be spending up trying to get exposure to as much as possible on this slate today. All right, could Scherzer get blown up? Sure, but when it comes to just period talent-wise in general, in this situation, I think Scherzer's in a fantastic spot here. Next up, I really love Lamet as well. Lamet's going against the Angels team, which I don't pick on them often, but he's just been super, super consistent this season. I mean, he has an extremely high K rate, striking out over 29% of lefties, over 35% of righties. This LA team only has one dangerous lefty to go against him, and that's Ohtani. Outside of that, I mean, he should have no problem with the righties, holding righties to a 199 average in 254 plate appearances. So it's not a small sample size. He's been very good versus right-handed bats, and there's going to be plenty right-handed bats in this Angels lineup. I definitely love Lamet. I think he's another solid option on the slate. And honestly, I see no problem with going Scherzer Lamet and spending up for both your pitchers with the way that the bats are today. We're going to have plenty of value today. All right, but outside of that, Jose Barrios is a guy that you could play at 7-9 going against the White Sox. Look, the White Sox strike out a lot, so there's always potential for a guy to have a great game going against the White Sox, but there's also that potential for you to get blown up going against the White Sox. So it's a little bothersome. I definitely prefer the Adrian Hauser is another guy that you could go with against Detroit. Obviously, the matchup against Detroit is always good, but as you saw for Lindblom yesterday, we faded Lindblom. It was a beautiful move going to Ian Anderson, as who I put in the high five video yesterday. Lindblom got blown up, and it just is what it is. I mean, the dude is just an okay pitcher. And it's a situation here where Hauser's an okay pitcher too, and it's a situation where he could get blown up as well. So I wouldn't necessarily lock in Hauser, but there is a potential as well for Detroit to strike out a ton. After doing okay against Lindblom yesterday, they could possibly have a good game here today. Outside of that, there's not a bunch of cheap guys that I'm interested in. Maybe Tristan McKenzie. Tristan McKenzie's only 6'7". We know the type of strikeout potential that he has, like he showed in his first game, but also they was coming in fresh with guys not really studying much on him, not knowing much about what he had on him. And then the next game, St. Louis really got to him early and often in that game. So they might have found something out about him, and then Kansas City's going to use that to their advantage again. That's what bothers me a little bit. But McKenzie, if he truly has that strikeout potential that we saw in the first game the first game that he pitched in the majors, this is a solid spot going against Kansas City, who strikes out a decent amount. But my main pitchers are going to be Scherzer and Lamet. All right, let's talk hitters. First hitter that I want to talk about is second baseman Jake Cronenworth. My boy Jake Cronenworth at 3.8. He is a fantastic option here. He gets to go against Julio Teheran, who throughout his entire career has struggled versus left-handed bats. Icing on the cake, Cronenworth mashes righties, 342 ISO, 458 WOBA, a 355 batting average. The dude's an absolute monster versus righties. He's only 3.8, way too cheap for a guy of his caliber who's been hitting the ball as well as he's been hitting. He's got a 360 batting average on the year. Okay, like a guy with a 360 batting average on the year with the type of power that he possesses, I mean, yeah, 3.8 is just way, way too cheap for Cronenworth. Now let's go to the lock of the day, especially after what he did yesterday. Marcell Ozuna is locked, okay? At 4.3, Marcell Ozuna is locked anytime he faces a lefty, too. I mean, this season he's been hitting the ball very, very well. He's been fantastic. Now he gets to go against Kickham, the lefty for Boston, righty-lefty matchup. Marcell Ozuna has a 283 ISO versus lefties. He hits lefties very, very well, especially so far this year. His numbers against lefties have been absolutely ridiculous. 467 average, batting average, and 5 home runs. All right, just let that soak in. 467 batting average and 5 home runs and 18 plate appearances versus lefties this year. He is mashing. All right, he is absolutely mashing. Marcell Ozuna is locked. Don't overthink it. The numbers match up perfectly here. Ozuna's price matches up perfectly here. Every single box is checked here. Okay, so Marcell Ozuna is fantastic. Next up, I'm sorry to do it to you, but I have to. My boy Franmil Reyes. I mean, they dropped his price. Oh, sorry. They dropped my boy Franmil Reyes' price to 3.9. Why would you have him at 4-1? He absolutely dominates, gets 5 hits and 5 at-bats. We had him, by the way. Now he gets to go against Junis, who struggles against righties, righty power especially. Franmil Reyes is a fantastic option. Not only has Franmil Reyes hit Junis well, period, through his career, he's already proven that he hits him well, but he has a 393 batting average and 6 home runs against righties this year. Okay? He is fantastic. His numbers are amazing. Great matchup on the other side. Pitcher is bad versus righties. It is a great opportunity for Franmil once again to have another big game. All right, right around these price ranges. Once again, I do love Nick Markakis once again as well, because I feel like Atlanta's one of my favorite stacks once again today. And I feel like a lot of people automatically write people off if they're the same, facing a pitcher of their same hand. So they're facing a lefty, right? Markakis is a lefty as well. So with that being said, a lot of people might fade Markakis. But so far this year, Nick's been seeing lefties very, very well, hitting a 444 batting average. He doesn't hit with a ton of power versus lefties, but he's only 3.6. Gets you a player in the heart of one of my favorite orders of the day, and the dude just gets on base. A 466 WOBA. Low ISO, but a 466 WOBA and a 444 average. He gets on base versus lefties. People might fade him solely because he's lefty-lefty. That is a mistake. And if you're stacking up Atlanta, do not skip over Nick Markakis. All right? And that's it. All right, so we had Max Scherzer and Lamet as the favorite pitchers, and then Cronenworth, Ozuna, and Reyes as our batters. All right, let's go over to FanDuel. First of all, let's check our guys first. Let's check our bats first, see what we're looking like on prices. Cronenworth's 3.2, definitely in play over here as well. Marcell Ozuna 3.4, he is in play on FanDuel as well. And then Reyes, please, under 3K. Oh, right at 3K. I'll play him over here as well. So our bats are also very well priced over on FanDuel. Let's go ahead and look at what the pitchers are looking like. Max Scherzer is my favorite pitcher on this slate. Plain and simple. If you want to save money, Lamet is perfectly fine at 9.3. So you either pay for Scherzer if you're able to and there's plenty of value, or you get Lamet to save some, get some money to be able to balance things out a little bit. All right. Now, let's look at value bats, because we always tend to get some pretty damn good value on over here on FanDuel. All right. Now, Brad Miller is in a solid situation here at only 2.8. Jeff McNeil, Mondesi at 2.5. Manuel Margot at 2.4 has been hitting righties well. Nick Markakis is only 2.8, ladies and gentlemen. I'm totally on board with playing him again. What else we got? Cedric Mullins, if he happens to lead off again, he's going to be fantastic. Adam Duvall, righty-lefty matchup at 2.4. I mean, so yeah, get your Atlanta, get your exposure to Atlanta on both sites. That is where you want to lean. Max Scherzer is the favorite pitcher on the slate in general. He is who I would expect to score the most points, but Lamet is right there as well. So don't be scared if you need to save some money down from him. Scherzer to balance things out a little bit, and you're not feeling comfortable with the bats that you have, then going Lamet is perfectly fine. And I know against LA it might be scary, But Lamet's been solid this year, and I think he's going to have another solid outing. He feels like he has a very solid floor here with that strikeout rate that he has. All right. And that's it, y'all. Thank you for joining me as always. Hit up greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. NFL begins in 8 days. It is almost here. It is time to get this money. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'm out. Peace.